It's big. It's brass. It's a bull moose. What the heck is a bull moose? Well, that's why we're doing this video today, because not only has this white whale of mine finally arrived on our home rails, but I got a little bit of explaining to do, so stick around. This is a 2880 bull moose consolidation mallet, depending on how French or American you are, articulated scale brass construction engine from Right-of-Way Industries. So maybe 10% of you that are watching this know everything that I just explained there, because Right-of-Way is a little obscure. This engine's very obscure. But this is essentially early big boy territory, and you all know that name because if you're into trains, you know the big boy. This thing was essentially an early idea of how to use articulated power on the trickiest part of the Wasatch Mountain Range for Union Pacific's mainline freight. Because you got to get a lot of power down, and in order to do that, you got to have a lot of wheels in a straight line. And straight lines and curves aren't big fans of each other. And if you've ever been up a mountain, it's never just a straight line going up. It's always twists and turns and all this other fun stuff. So that's where Union Pacific's articulateds really started to come into play. And again, this is an early version of that. They essentially took, if it looks real familiar from here, from this set of these drivers on back, this thing should look an awful lot, and even the front kind of does look an awful lot like a Harriman Consolidation 280. And this is two of those, essentially. 8 wheels to each set of 4 pistons. So yeah, there's a lot of wheels going on here. Lots of great stuff going on down there. I'll get into the model a little bit more here, but yeah, these things were early articulated engines for the Union Pacific. And it really fits in well here on the secondhand overland, because this thing not only has history, and these were kind of on their way out by the time the big boys and Challengers and all that stuff was out. Number 3704 was actually assigned to the Oregon Short Line. And if that rings a bell, this little Harriman Consolidation back here in the corner that I just did a review on was also assigned to that same line. So it's kind of neat having all their brothers and sisters on the rails all together here on the line. This thing here not only kind of ties in with some of our history, but it's also a very unique engine. Aside from it being brass, all right-of-way industry engines are brass. And if you've never heard of this company, they're really only around in the early 90s. They were taken off, things were looking good, things went south, and the company went belly up. And it's a really interesting story, and there's several versions of the story, and everyone claims that they know the real one, but only Sid does. Speaking of that guy, thank you for helping me kind of look for stuff like this and help me along with the journey. Really neat to have this one. It does have a tender. I just haven't picked it up yet because it's hard to kind of do both at the same time. This one's super light. This is, again, brass construction. Nicely detailed. The coal load up there on this Vanderbilt tender. Nice light back there. One of these wires that connects to the cab was busted, so I fixed that so that way the lights work on the front. But oddly enough, I didn't realize this until I kind of got it. Right-of-Way Industries kind of made a diet version of this engine that had no sound effects. And that's the one that I have, so you just hear how it works. You don't hear any whistle or chuff or any of that, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. But this thing, nice and light, again, nicely detailed, and it hooks right up to the back of this. It's also interesting, there's even separate sections here to put the tender so you can set how close or how far it sits away from this. Now, this thing is a scale model, so it's big, but it also cheats a little bit. And that's something that my Lion Masters do really well, and something that scale models never really do. There's a reason I can't run scale models around the secondhand overland. I kind of covered that in a recent video. Check that out if you haven't already. But this thing is unique because, again, it's scale, but it's designed to go around all the way down to 042 curves. And it's a 2880. It's not a small locomotive. So really neat that right-of-way made an engine that can make their way around tighter turns, kind of like how Union Pacific made these things to go around the turns in the Wasatch Mountain Range. So super cool to have this thing running around here, but the only reason I can run this is because of my buddy Art from Art's Model Trains. I owe a huge thanks to that guy twice, because first of all, he helped me find this engine, and I had been searching for a while. I missed out on a local opportunity to get one. I didn't know what I was looking at the time, if I'm honest. And then as I found out, I went back to the shop, it was gone. Found it again online. It was terrible timing. I had just bought my Daylight and all of its passenger cars, so there go all the funds for that time. Missed out on that one. But my buddy Art helped me find this one after York because I couldn't find it there either. Not only did Art help me find this locomotive, but he also helped me run it, even if he doesn't realize it. I'm a dummy. I didn't know that you could run a Cab 1 TMCC system in conventional. Yeah, no. I didn't get any instructions when I got this stuff, so I just went off the instructions of a command engine on how to hook it up and just sent it. And every time I tried to run an engine in conventional, it would just shoot off down the line because it just has constant power. A couple of shows ago with 3 Rails 4 Dads, Art explained to me how you can run this system in conventional. And because this thing predates TMCC or command control, conventional is the only way you can run this engine. It's my only engine that is only conventional control, which is kind of a weird engine to have as your first time with conventional control, but it's been a ton of fun. But thankfully, Art was able to show me how to do that, able to help me find the engine, and I've been having all sorts of fun. So is my kid. I've shown him plenty of videos about this thing and talked to him about trying to look for one. He was kind of bummed when I came back from York without one because I kind of hoped I could find one there, but it doesn't matter. We've got it here, it's awesome, and have a lot of fun plans for it. I do want to do a couple things in the future with this thing. Because it's rare, I want to do an actual dedicated review on it. But also, this is kind of the beginning of articulated steam for Union Pacific. And I've got enough examples here on the secondhand overland to kind of give you a O-gauge version of a history lesson on the articulated engines designed to tackle the Wasatch Mountain Range. So if you'd like to see that, leave a comment down below. I'm a bit of a history buff on this stuff, so it's really neat to dig into the lore behind these engines. And as I'm learning, you guys can learn along with me. This thing's been great to run around the line. It is a little bit interesting to run a conventional engine along with command engines. If you've never done it before, you essentially have to have your engine up to speed first and then start activating the command control engines and essentially just give, I guess, ironically, I have to give the right-of-way engine the right-of-way because it's a pain to go back to the throttle or to control this thing's speed. You pretty much just use your command control engines or Lion Chief like we did when we were originally down on carpet and just make sure that they give right of way to the big engine that's harder to stop. So it's not impossible to blend conventional with command. It's just a bit of a dance, a dangerous dance. Danger's my middle name. It's not, but regardless, super stoked to have this thing here. Again, big thanks to Sid for all the information on this thing before and kind of giving me a baseline knowledge of right-of-way industries. Big thanks to Art for helping me find this thing and figure out how to run it around my layout because I'm a dummy. So yeah, this thing's awesome and I couldn't be more happy to have this here and to be running it and all that other fun stuff. So thanks for watching. Leave a like. Comment if you got questions about this thing, especially. I know I had a ton of questions. Please subscribe as well because we've got a ton of fun stuff we've been working on here. Not just here on the Secondhand Overland, but all sorts of other stuff. So check all that out, please. And thank you again for all the support. It means so much, and I really love hearing from you guys in the comments down below and just seeing all the love. It's been a ton of fun making these. We will continue to make these. I know I'm making a lot of stuff, but just because we're having fun with it. So Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.